Every year, many hikers and outdoor enthusiasts go missing in our state and national parks all over the country. While many of these folks are eventually found, there's an alarming number of them that remain missing despite extensive search and rescue efforts and modern-day technology. Join me as I count down 10 more of the strangest state and national park missing person cases out there. Number 10. On September 27th of 2020, a 37-year-old, along with his German Shepherd dog, disappeared inside Snoqualmie Pass in Washington state. According to authorities, Brandon Napon, an experienced and avid outdoorsman, was believed to be hiking to Gem Lake from the Snow Lake trailhead near Apintal when he failed to return. Friends and family members grew concerned and reported him missing the following day when he failed to check in with them. Not long after that, 366 search and rescue personnel, including volunteers, canine units, mountaineers, and drones, searched numerous areas of around 80 square miles with a combined 2,000 hours of searching. But despite this, the search would eventually end altogether nearly a week later due to a total lack of clues and increasingly unsafe weather conditions. If you have any information regarding this case, you can contact the Kings County Sheriff's Office at 206-296-4155. Number 9. On October 9th of 2020, a 33-year-old UC Berkeley anthropology professor went missing inside Mount Rainier National Park, also in Washington state. Sam Dubal went missing after going on a solo camping trip and had only planned to spend a single night there before returning home. The following day, his car was still parked where he had left it, and there was no sign that anything irregular had occurred. Sam was last known to be hiking the Mother Mountain Loop out of the Mawick Lake trailhead. He was an experienced hiker and had been well equipped for the trip, carrying a tent, sleeping bag, rain jacket, cell phone, and plenty of provisions. After failing to check in the night he was due to return, he was reported missing, thus kicking off an extensive search by the Mount Rainier National Park Service, volunteers and local authorities, dog teams, drones, helicopters, and many other sources were utilized, but even after several days of this, no clue was found pointing to Sam's whereabouts. His disappearance has left many baffled, as he was in good spirits and was well prepared for the outdoors. If you have any information regarding this case, you can contact Mount Rainier Search and Rescue at 888-653-0009. Number 8. On October 19th of 2020, a 64-year-old woman was reported missing while out on a hike inside the Prairie Creek trailhead of the Sawtooth National Forest in Idaho. Fern Baird was last seen on camera signing in to the visitor center of the park before setting off on a solo hike. Although Fern's plans weren't clear, she was expected to return later that same day, but the following morning, park rangers on patrol discovered her 2018 Suburban Crosstrek still inside the parking area, yet there was no sign she had returned to the vehicle or checked back in from her hike. Almost immediately, park officials and search and rescue teams entered the surrounding trail systems, where they would conduct an intense 10-day search. The search would focus their efforts on areas ranging from around 7,000 feet to 10,000 feet in elevation, utilizing 7 canine teams and over 100 professional search and rescue personnel. As inclement weather moved in and resources began to dry, the decision to end the search was made. And to this day, not a single clue has surfaced as to Fern's whereabouts. Number 7. In September of 2018, a man was reported missing inside Roxborough State Park in Colorado. The unidentified man was last seen entering the park by staff, but little is known where the man was from or where he was going. Douglas County Search and Rescue kicked off their search around 5 p.m. on September 23rd, involving more than 100 volunteers, park officials, local law enforcement, and canine units. The search covered more than 4,000 acres with ground and aerial searches. During the time of the search, the park was closed, and after several days, it would reopen after no sign of the man turned up. Despite these combined efforts, no clue was found, and the search would be called off altogether. If anyone knows the name of the individual in question, do let us know, as I was unable to find anything. Contact Douglas County Search and Rescue if you have any questions or clues at 719-278-8142. Number 6. In February of 2017, a 58-year-old hiker went missing inside Kern River Canyon in California after becoming separated from his companion. Steve Garcia and a longtime acquaintance entered the canyon for a short 2-hour hike and had planned to return thereafter. I was unable to find any information as to how the two became separated, but the friend reported Steve missing to authorities shortly after returning to the trailhead. Within an hour, search and rescue personnel, including canine units, ATVs, and helicopters, arrived at the canyon and began conducting searches. On the second day of the search, over 100 volunteers showed up to aid in the search. After 3 days and no clues, the search was scaled back due to inclement weather. Those searches would continue for another several days, including the nearby Highway 178. It would be suspended altogether soon after. If you'd like to send in any tips or have any information regarding this case, you can contact the Kern County Sheriff's Office at 661-861-3110. Number 5. In February of 2020, a 29-year-old hiker went missing inside the North Ogden Divide Trail near Weber County in Utah. Shelby Campbell entered the trail for a short day hike and has not been seen or heard of since. After failing to check in with family members that night, police were notified, thus kicking off a search effort, where they would soon find her car still parked at the trailhead. Weber County Search and Rescue extended their efforts deep into the trail systems inside the North Ogden Canyon Divide, including dog teams, aerial assistance with FLIR technology, park rangers, and over 30 volunteers. After a week of intense searches and no sign of Shelby's whereabouts, the search would be scaled back. As of December 2020, a small group of volunteers are keeping the search active. Those who knew Shelby were completely baffled by the woman's disappearance, considering she knew the area well and was in great shape and was an experienced hiker. If you have any clues about this case, you can contact the Weber County Search and Rescue Group at 801-778-6600. Number 4. In March of 2020, a 72-year-old man disappeared while hiking in the Mount Baldy area of New Mexico. Quang Son Kim, who had hiked the area on previous occasions, notified his family of his intended hiking plans before setting off into the Mount Baldy Village campground, where he had planned to stay the night. But before he set up camp, he decided to take a short hike and entered a nearby trail. That would be the last time he was seen or heard from. Family contacted authorities when Quang failed to check in with them at an agreed time. A team of around 24 search and rescue personnel from the San Dimas Mountain Rescue Group set out to find him. His car was still at the campground, with all of his camping supplies still inside, but no clue was found indicating his whereabouts or his intended destination. Over the course of several days, the weather grew increasingly cold and stormy, thus suspending the search effort after a week. If you have any information on this case, you can contact the San Dimas Mountain Rescue Team at 909-971-2419. Number 3. In July of 2008, a 67-year-old veteran went missing while hiking in the Star Lakes area inside the Sierra National Forest of California. Avid hiker and fishing enthusiast Jim Arthur told his family of his plans to hike, fish, and take photos before setting off with his red backpack full of supplies and possibly even a firearm to ward off rattlesnakes that are known to live in the area. The retired Air National Guardsman and decorated veteran had minor knee issues, but otherwise was in good health, and had only planned to be gone no more than a day. Once reported missing, Arthur's truck would eventually be located by search and rescue on Beasaur Road, near the Beasaur Meadows, just a few miles from his intended destination. It was noted that 2 witnesses came forward and had reported seeing him on a steep trail near Iron Lakes, and that he appeared to be in good spirits. Despite tips and a 2-week-long search effort by more than 100 search and rescue personnel, no other evidence has been found. Number 2. On August 14th of 2020, a 43-year-old left his home in Nevada to do some rock hunting in the nearby hills just south of Miller Wash and about 15 miles west of Mountain Home Range in Utah. Trevor Bazil, an art teacher and avid rock collector, arrived at the site and planned to leave later that night. However, when he failed to return home, his family set out to find him. They would eventually discover his vehicle deep within the hills near Miller Wash Ravine. At this point, they contacted local authorities to report him missing, thus kicking off a large search and rescue effort consisting of over 100 volunteers, drone operators, ATVs, rangers on horseback, dirt bikes, and dogs. They would eventually discover a half-filled bucket of rock in the area Trevor said he would be, but that was it. Authorities concluded that there was no sign of a struggle or animal predation, and suicide was also ruled out. The Nevada Department of Forestry and the Rocky Mountain Search and Rescue Group joined the search on day 3, but despite these combined efforts, no trace of Trevor would be found. By August 28th, nearly 2 weeks after his disappearance, the search would be called off altogether. If you have any information regarding Travis's disappearance, you can contact the Panica Lincoln Sheriff's Office at 775-962-8000. Number 1. On October 1st of 2013, a then 62-year-old German professor disappeared while hiking the Pinnacle Trail area of the San Bernardino Mountains in California. Alois Jacob Crost had traveled to the United States to attend a teachers' conference. At one point, he and several of his colleagues decided to travel out to the mountains to enjoy a little R&R out in Mother Nature. They set out to Lake Arrowhead inside the mountains, and though the details are a bit unclear, Alois became separated from the rest of the group later that afternoon on their way back from the lake. When the rest of the group noticed him missing, his hiking companions backtracked but found no sign of him. Once they arrived at the Pinnacle Trailhead, they reported his disappearance, and a search and rescue effort was initiated by the San Bernardino Police Department, including dog teams, helicopters with forward-looking infrared technology, and many volunteers. In total, searchers would spend 2 weeks combing through several square miles of the area, covering thick forest, rough terrain, and all the waterways. But despite these combined efforts, no trace of Alois was found. If you have any tips about this case, you can reach the Twin Peaks Sheriff's Office at 909-336-0600. And there you have it. Just another volume of missing person cases to add to the hundreds I've covered so far. We can only hope that by bringing awareness to these cases, perhaps we can increase the chances of finding some answers. Be safe out there, and you'll hear from me soon. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.